What is poppin' YouTube? Back again with another video. Today we are doing my rookie tier list. I know a lot of you are in your rookie drafts, so want to at least give you some thoughts about where I tier these guys. So in case you want to trade back, gain that extra value, you have that ability to. Without further ado, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you like Dynasty Fantasy Football. Helps me out a ton, helps the algorithm out, and we want more people in this community so we can start doing a lot of mock drafts, especially as we head into redraft season and we do Dynasty startups throughout the year. With my first tier, we have the S tier. We have Bijan Robinson. We do not need to dive into why Bijan Robinson is the S tier for me. Elite level landing spot with the Atlanta Falcons. He's going to get the work. Arthur Smith. We already know that. Offense, Drake London, Kyle Pitts on the outside. It's going to be great. Bijan Robinson is in my S tier. In my A tier, we have the three quarterbacks. We have Anthony Richardson with the Colts, Bryce Young to the Carolina Panthers, and CJ Stroud to the Houston Texans. Depending on how you view those guys, I do not care what you take at 102, 103, or 104. Especially if you're cool with all of them, I would be willing to trade back to the 104, maybe pick up an extra second. And you're probably going to end up with CJ Stroud because I feel like the Dynasty community is really high on Anthony Richardson because of the rushing upside if he hits. Bryce Young feels like, we're a little bit worried about the size, but he feels a little bit safer than CJ Stroud. I'm cool with all three of these guys in my A tier. So just depending on how you want to maneuver, depending on what type of upside shot you want to be taking with Anthony Richardson versus CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, I totally feel you on that. But that is my A tier. In my B tier, this is where we get to the 105, 106 range, where I did put out a video a few days ago discussing the differences between Jahmyr Gibbs and JSN. Just depending on your roster build, depending on your construction, how you view those guys, those are my B tier. This is when we drop down to the C tier, we then have the three wide receivers that come after JSN. We have Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston, and Zay Flowers. I do prefer Jordan Addison out of all three, but if I was able to pick up an extra second, pick up just something extra to sweeten the deal, and I then have to trade back to like the 109 and I know I'm getting Zay Flowers, that would be something that I would also be interested in doing. Just depending on how you view those guys, those are the guys in my C tier. Moving down to my D tier, this is where we have the two elite level tight ends, in my opinion, and Zach Charbonnet. Now, Zach Charbonnet, I just got him at the 205 in a rookie draft, the Superflex rookie draft, and I felt like king because a lot of people are down on Zach Charbonnet to the Seattle Seahawks. I hate to break it to anybody watching this video, but the man got second round draft capital. There are other running backs that did get third round draft capital that we are excited about, but you cannot deny that the man got second round draft capital and then take someone that got drafted in the third over Zach Charbonnet, who could potentially has that bell cow role where he could be a 3-down workhorse running back. Now, those have gone extinct in the NFL. But Zach Charbonnet, you have to take that shot in my D tier. Then we have Dalton Kincaid and Michael Mayer in the D tier. Michael Mayer does get second round draft capital to the Raiders, but he's going to be the instant starter there. Dalton Kincaid, same thing. They have been talking about in Buffalo. We finally got Josh Allen, his Travis Kelce. Now, Dawson Knox is still there, so we are a little bit worried about both of those guys. What is that production going to look like in year one? But when you're drafting tight end, and especially in this depleted class that it feels like once you get past the 108, you're going to have to be taking some shots on these guys, that both of these guys have the upside to eventually be long-term top 5 tight end prospects. So they are in my D tier. Moving on to my E tier, we have three guys. We have Devon Achane, Will Levis, and Kendre Miller. Devon Achane, we saw he got the elite level landing spot with the Miami Dolphins in the third round. A lot of people are thinking, oh man, just give this man 8 to 10 touches a game and he's going to be an RB10 in Dynasty. I don't know what to think. The fact that they still have Jeff Wilson on the roster, there's still the rumors of Dalvin Cook potentially coming to the Miami Dolphins. They have an elite level passing attack. Devon Achane, I'm still taking Zach Charbonnet over Devon Achane. I feel like that has been a very big Dynasty discussion, and that's why I have him in my E tier. The other two players I have, of course, Will Levis gets drafted within the first 3 picks of the second round, fell out of the first round. If he was in the first round, would definitely be going at the beginning of this tier, even in the D tier, but since he didn't, have to push him down the board just a little bit. And then, of course, Kendre Miller to the Saints in the third round. Now, I have been seeing, like I said, I saw Kendre Miller and Devon Achane. Devon Achane went at like the 109 in one draft I had. In that same draft, Kendre Miller went at the 2-4, and then Zach Charbonnet went at the 2-5, which I got Zach Charbonnet. The fact that Devon Achane is going so much ahead of Zach Charbonnet and Kendre Miller, we need to be discussing this. Even add into it, if you are talking about different models and different running back models, one of my best friends, Noah Wright, he actually has a YouTube channel called Trades and Grades. I was on it for a little bit. He did a running back model where he talks about the rankings that he has for each of these guys. And Zach Charbonnet shows out a lot better as a workhorse light type running back in his model compared to potentially Devon Achane or a Kendre Miller. So the fact that people are even discussing this, if you're looking for a running back model, go to his page, check out his running back model. It helps you with the running back rankings. I was using them yesterday. But Kendre Miller and Devon Achane should definitely be going behind Zach Charbonnet. In my F tier, I have Hendon Hooker, Tajay Spears, Mingo, Josh Downs, Roshan Johnson, and Tank Bixby. Now, I feel like you could go a whole bunch of different ways in the second round, especially when this is probably looking somewhere between the 2-3 to the 2-12. If you just told me, hey, I really prefer Roshan Johnson over Tank Bixby, I wouldn't hate you. If you told me, hey, I prefer Tank Bigsby over Roshan Johnson, I wouldn't hate you. If you said, hey, I got to take Mingo, I need a wide receiver, and I will miss out on the potential upside of the second round dynasty running backs, I wouldn't hate you. This is kind of all dependent on team need. If I were to rank these running backs for sure, I have Roshan Johnson, Tank Bigsby, and then Tajay Spears. Now, a lot of people have been in and out on Tajay on the socials, and based on this ACL injury, I still think he's up there. I still think he's paired right there. Even though Roshan Johnson got the fourth round capital, I think he has the most immediate impact to be made on the Chicago Bears compared to Tank Bixby playing behind ETN and Tajay Spears. Who knows if he ever gets on the field with Derrick Henry. So those are my thoughts in my F tier. Moving on to my G tier, this is where I have three guys. I have Keyshawn Butte, Cedric Tillman, and Jalen Hyatt. Now, are there more players we could definitely add to this? Yes, we could. I think I would classify this tier of very talented wide receivers who fell for different reasons. Jalen Hyatt falls because he doesn't run as fast as we thought. If he was an absolute burner, he probably would have gone in the second round, but he didn't. So he went in the third round. Cedric Tillman has elite level alpha size, but doesn't show that consistently on a play-by-play basis. Goes in the third round. Keyshawn Butte was supposed to be the wide receiver one of this class, but doesn't become the wide receiver one of this class because of off the field issues, an injury, the lack of athleticism that has occurred. Am I a little bit worried about Keyshawn Butte? Yes, I am. But I will say this. He has to be added into this elite level tier. For my H and I tier, I could have added people. I really could have. But I feel like this is a time where you go out and get your guy. I could tell you, Darnell Washington, Evan Hall, those guys are here in my H tier. But you're going to have to be the ones to actually go and do the studying up. I'll be completely honest, third round picks to me really are not that super valuable because there's only ever been like a Terry McLaurin. Antonio Gibson was still a late second round. Like maybe you got Antonio Gibson in the third round, but I think those are my rankings that you should be focusing on. Focus on that first round, focus on that second round, because once it gets past the end of the second round, it gets a little dicey. Appreciate you guys all tuning in today. If you like Dynasty Fantasy Football, hit that sub button, helps me out a ton, and I will catch you on the next one.